Okay, I lied. I just grabbed all of them because it does not have like hardly any lanolin in it. It doesn't smell that clean. I actually kind of wish I didn't put that all over my face. In projects past, I would comb, spin, 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 comb, spin, spin, spin. But I think I might prefer to comb, split, 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 and then spin, 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 spin. Dirty Rose, I don't hate it on me, but I feel like a evil witch when I wear Dirty Rose. And I feel that the fragrance could be offensive to somebody, like an evil witch would be. It's the persona I wish I was, but I'm just not. I'm too nice. I can't be an evil witch, as much as people probably think I am. Girl, you don't even know. I am very nice to you. Hello everyone, how are you today? I hope you're having a really good day so far. If you are new here, my name's Taylor. I come to you from Baltimore City, Maryland, and here on my YouTube channel, I feature content that is generally focused on knitting and spinning. In this week's episode of what I call the Thread to Mend podcast, I'm gonna sit down and share with you what I'm currently working on, which is a continuation of the Chained Oblivion cardigan. I have my Heretic perfume sampler to talk about later on in today's video, and we're gonna do a garden tour at the end. So if you're interested, please continue watching, maybe get comfortable, grab a sip of water or whatever you fancy.
You know what? I'll just say this. Is the grocery store going to get mad at me if I complain about the carts not being returned?
Wait, what?
Like if I come on the podcast and complain about something or talk about something,
Yeah.
am I supposed to talk about no people, places, or things while I'm here?
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
Today I'm wearing my Bookkeeper cardigan. This is a cardigan that I knit and designed using Brooklyn Tweed's Arbor yarn. It is a gorgeous, squishy, I think Targi wool, worsted spun DK weight yarn. And it is one of the most perfect yarns. They have a gorgeous selection of colors. I should say had, because it is no longer in production, which is ever so sad and will continue to haunt me because I could knit with this base of yarn for the rest of my life and be happy. So many good colors. I thought about buying some more, but I don't know, I have enough. So anyway, that's what I'm wearing. I really love this cardigan. I think I need more clothes to wear it with though, because I find it really hard to get dressed with this. It's like so warm and nothing matches. Everything is like too gray toned or like blue toned. Right now I'm wearing like the brightest of my blue pants, which feels like it clashes and it's just like such a high contrast. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but that's what's happening. And before we get into the knitting, I do want to share with you my new glasses frames. Do you like them? Do Do you love them? Do you want to wear them? Let me know in a comment below. I sometimes have brands or companies reach out to me and offer to send me product to share with you all on my channel, and I very often ignore or decline because I am not all that interested in expectations of other people, delivering on things that are not my biggest priority. And also, I don't really want to promote anything that I wouldn't personally purchase myself with my own hard-earned money. So it's very rare that I do this. But when Zinff reached out to me again to partner with them, because you may recall, if you're a longer time viewer, I already own these frames. Like, I worn these years ago, and they've always been my favorite. But I like variety, and every year when I would go get my prescription renewed and it would change and I would just buy a new set of frames to have something else to wear, I was never happier or even as happy as I was with these. So when they offered to send me another new pair of glasses to share with you all, I was very excited to order the Aphrodite frames, which I will link to in the description box below so you can locate the exact frames I'm wearing. But if you're interested, if you're in the market for new glasses, I do recommend this company. They were very easy to order from and very affordable, like a fraction of the price I pay locally for glasses. So, you know, in this economy, I think affordability can trump all other priorities most of the time, especially like healthcare needs. So, very happy with my new again glasses. These are progressive lenses. So I don't know if you ever have had to buy progressive lenses, but they're not cheap. And I'm very excited to have and share an affordable option for people that need such a thing. So there's a coupon code. If you decide to purchase frames from this website, please use my link in the description box. It shows them that I sent you. I might get a kickback, but honestly, I don't expect anyone's gonna, I shouldn't say that. Please use my link below. I'm just saying, you know, I might benefit from it, but I'm just happy to share the product and the brand, and I'm very happy with my glasses, and I love that I get to wear them again with my current prescription. So thank you so much, Zinff, for sending me these. I'm very happy, and you can use my code to save 25% off your order if you use the link in the description box below. So that's that. I am very excited to sit down with you. I have so much ambition and very little energy. I will just give you a brief update. Not that it matters, but I was not here last weekend. I wanted to be. I was so excited about how well my previous video performed. A lot of you who haven't been watching lately, but maybe have known of my channel for a while, took the time to tune in, and I am absolutely grateful. It's so nice to just see you all here in the comments or otherwise, and that was just really exciting for me. I was really glad to see that, and I really couldn't wait to show up again and have a new video the following week. And I just felt like completely ill. I was just beside myself for a day and a half. How are you doing? What have you been making? I would love to know. I am trying very hard to make progress on my Chained Oblivion before I cast on a new project. I got excited. If you watched my previous video, you know that I purchased rather impulsively 3 new patterns well, 3 new to me patterns, not exactly new, but 3 new to me patterns by Teti Lutsak, and I have prepared myself to cast on one of those 3. I have yarn for all of them, so they're going to be my next 3 consecutive patterns I cast on. But I didn't want to start a new project without making significant progress on at least one of the projects that had kind of been sitting at the wayside. So, you know, the one that I put the most effort into already has been the Chained Oblivion. This is a bottom-up cardigan, worked mostly in seed stitch with some really funky and cool cable motifs up the sides, the side front, I should say. There is going to be a button band, so there's a bit of a gap there. And this cable is worked up in 4 columns of 2 different lengths, and then they stop, so it's very easy to work. I've really loved knitting this so far. I just got to my first decrease round for the yoke shaping, so I don't know that I'm going to be able to actually knit the exact row I'm on while talking with you. I'm just going to hold it up haphazardly and show you that I did finally join the sleeves and the body. I'm a little bit nervous about how short the body is compared to the length of the sleeves. I did follow the instructions, and I believe it says to knit 10¼ inches. I think I knit a little bit more than that, but I wonder if I should have knit even an extra ½ inch. I don't know. I think it'll be, because it's oversized, I think it'll be cute cropped. I think it's made to be worn cropped. And I think it might also have a deep yoke. So it might not be as short as I think it will become. Dare I insert my arm into the sleeve and try it on over my current cardigan? I don't know why I didn't think to do this sooner, but here we are. Yeah, I think even if it's like this, I think it's gonna be great. Very excited to have this. This has been my project this week. I also swatched, and I left all of my swatches upstairs, but I did swatch for the Caldelaria blouse. I'm gonna be knitting this pattern by Teti Lutsak in Biche en Bouche Le Petit Lamb's Wool. I have it in this gray color, I forget the name of it, and the dark hunter, sort of heather, olivey green, foresty, pine, dark green. So this is actually left over from my Yell cardigan, which I knit many years ago now. And I swatched on the 2.5 needles that are recommended, but I got 2 stitches fewer. And the fabric felt a little light, like a little bit of light shone through it. I'm just gonna go down to a size 2 and cast on and see what that gets me. And go from there. So, you know, if I find that it's like maybe too tight or not quite right, I'll just go up a needle for after the ribbing, because I typically knit ribbing on a smaller size anyway. So that's what I'm gonna do. And those 2 projects have just been at the forefront of my knitting mind. I also have been, actually you can't see it in the background, but I'm gonna go grab something really quick. And by something, I mean a lot of something. I've been thinking about what fleece I plan to spin next. And because it is November, it's typically the time of year where I have scoured or am scouring a fleece. And there are a couple fleeces that I need to re-scour. So one is a arms full of wool that I got from a lovely viewer at a fiber festival before last year, I think. It might have been in Maryland last year. But she gave me some of the most gorgeous Cormo fiber that she bought straight from a shepherd. And it has a lovely staple. I will say for a Cormo, this feels like a standard length staple, nothing too dramatic. This is like one of those fleeces that has a lot of lanolin throughout, and I washed it well. It was exceptionally clean, but I can tell that I did not get all the lanolin out. And I washed this fleece with my older method where I just picked the fleece apart and put it in rows. I did not take the time to comb out the tips, both the cut end and the tips of the fiber. So what that means for me is that in my experience, the cut end especially, the fibers are a little bit like pushed together, like the lanolin and the fibers are like kind of stuck a little tighter together. and when the fiber was washed, it never really flowed out from between the fibers. So it can be a little bit sticky where the cut end is. And so I just feel that I need to scour this wool again. There's no way that I'm going to attempt to spin this unless I do, and I would very much like to do that. I can't tell you how much fiber this is. Even if I weighed it without the pillowcase, I would still have less than whatever I weigh because I will be washing the lanolin out, and that carries some weight. But I would guess I might not even get 100 grams of yarn out of this. So although I really want to scour and spin this as like a small project, I'm not most inspired to do that because I like to knit garments and I like to knit with my hand spun, and I would much rather spin something that could become a larger project. So I'm thinking a lot about this fleece too, which is a fleece I bought years ago now. And this is another Cormo fleece. The staple you can see is just a little longer. This might be misleading though, because some of the fibers are a little unorganized. So yeah, this is like a good example of the staple length. I would say it's maybe 4 inches, more or less. And it's not quite as white as hers. I mean, hers is perfect. But this one has a really good staple, and it still has integrity to it, but it does have lanolin in it, and I need to rescour this fleece too. I wish I had known what I know now, which is my current process for scouring. I did make a video on how I scour raw wool. I will link to it in the description box below, or I'll put a card up on the screen for you to check that out if you're interested in my method. But I do find that combing or carding, flicking, whatever, you can use a dog brush, doesn't matter, but flicking open both ends of the fiber before soaking, game changer. It makes the entire process almost effortless, and you get a really clean fleece. And so even though I feel like I need to scour those, because I'm afraid if I don't do it sooner than later, the wool fiber will kind of degrade to some degree. I don't know if it's because there's like a solvent still within the fiber, and that kind of made the structure have less integrity. But I have been scouring correctly the last few years, and I have been spinning a lot of the fleeces that I've purchased. I know that I've spun a couple fleeces at least in total. And so my most recent fleece that I bought was 1 year ago at Rhinebeck last year, and I scoured it when I got home, and it is so soft, so clean. There's nothing sticky about it, and it's this gorgeous cool tone. I don't know what you would call this color, but it's like a mousy brown. It's a very gray. It's like a grayish. It's beige and gray. And I think once the sort of sun bleached tips are blended with the very consistent shade of fiber, it'll just be a little bit more warm toned than you see overall. I did separate out from the total fleece areas of it that were slightly different in tone. So these ones are a bit lighter. I don't know if you can see them next to each other. It might be too subtle, but one, yeah, you can see like this one's a little lighter than this one. So any variation in the color that I found, it was very easy to separate, and I separated it out so I could just not have to try too hard at blending the two. And if I wanted to do a color work sort of thing, I could. Or if I really wanted to do a full blend of the total weight, I could measure how much do I have in the light, how much do I have in the dark, and how much of each do I need to combine in each passing of X amount of weight in total. You know what I mean? So I have equal proportion throughout the blending. But I think that this is going to be my next combing project and my next spinning project because it will be what I'm most familiar with. And in that regard, it will be the most comforting. So I think that's what I plan to do. In projects past, I would comb, spin, 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 comb, spin, spin, spin. But I think I might prefer to comb, split, 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 and then spin, 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 spin. So I was asking my friend Mo, who I've been meeting up with weekly, and I have really very much enjoyed having the chance to sit down with her each week and knit together. She's also a spinner. She's a very prolific spinner. She hasn't even been spinning for very long, but has done like full fleece to sweater projects that are absolutely incredible. I will link to her. She's not really on social media, but she has an Instagram. I will link to it so you know what I'm talking about when I say how fabulous it is. But she explained to me her process of blending, which she is exceptional at. And she will, she uses her drum carder that has a motor, Mo with her motorized drum carder, and she'll do a pass or two and then split her multiple bats up and then pass those together in like strips. I just love to hand comb. I really do. What I'll do is I will comb all of my fiber and then I will take 2 or 3 or even 4 supplies of my combed top, I guess. I wouldn't call it top, but you know, my little nests of combed wool, and I will split those up and pre-draft them together so that they're kind of blended in a sense. And then I'll have, if I have any variegation, it'll be much more subtle and it won't appear in as many striping things, I don't think. Anyway, it's an experiment. It's always a little bit of trial and error, but those are the supplies of wool I'm the most excited to start combing and spinning. I'm gonna grab one more bag of wool to show you really quick. Okay, I lied. I just grabbed all of them because there's one in particular that I'm looking for that I've been thinking the most about, and that is not this one, but I'll get to that in a second. This fleece is a very small quantity I have left over. It's really not all that much. Let me just do a little ping test on this really quick. Okay, there is at least 1, but potentially 2 fleeces that I had dark brown wool left over. Remember that Murdaugh Murders podcast? Every episode started with, I don't know, but I don't know what fleece this is. It's either a Jacob Lamb's wool or it's a Cornwall crossbreed. The Cornwall crossbreed that I bought many years ago was, I think, bred with a Jacob because it was a cow, kind of like some white, some brown, some mix. And I separated all the colors and spun them separately. And I just never wrote down in like one place. I always recorded everything I did online, and I just don't have the time to look back at all of my old videos to know what I did when and what I still haven't done. But this is a fleece. I would guess I have like a skein of yarn here, maybe 2 skeins of yarn here. Gorgeous, nice long staple. The ends you can see are like not quite as full as like the cut end. So I don't know if the ends are maybe a little more brittle. I think this is the Cornwall fleece because I do recall the ends being a little tippy, which means that like they're kind of just a little bit broken. They have less integrity. And I like to pre-tug that off my fiber before I comb it because I don't want it doing it after the fact, because that is exactly what will pill when I spin the yarn and then knit it into a garment that's being worn. So I break these little ends off, or you could be extra and like trim the ends, either or. So this is a small amount of fiber. I should really just to get out of my way because it is, number one, it's gorgeous, nice long staple, pretty clean, but it'll free up a storage container for me to purchase a new fleece in May. I do plan to buy a fleece at Maryland Sheep and Wool in May, if not one, potentially two. And so my goals in the next 6 to 7 months, 6 months, is to spin a bit. I think that I might start my weekly target of a single skein a week and see how many skeins I can spin as swiftly as possible. So this could be a really great candidate, as well as this that I need to rescour, but that does take a little extra work. Another fleece, I think this is the other one, I wasn't sure, maybe. Okay. This is another fleece, very similar to the one I just showed you, but this I believe is the Jacob Lamb, because it's a little bit cleaner, which makes me think I scoured it more recently than in the past. And so it's just a little bit lighter and a little less, I don't say sticky, because that one's not sticky, but it just is very clean. Like I do not mess around anymore when I scour my fleeces. I have the most perfect method for me. If I haven't already said this, I will link to a video below where I gave a tutorial of how I scour my fleeces. But this is definitely the Jacob Lamb's wool fleece, and I have probably a single skein. I don't know. I mean, what am I gonna do with all these single skeins? I could maybe spin some color work or something, but I definitely want to spin more fingering weight yarn because I like to wear fingering weight yarns or fingering weight projects more. Being in Maryland, it's a bit, I mean, we're in the South. It's warmer than the northern climate, so I need lighter weight stuff. And if I could spin a fingering weight with a couple of these, maybe I could get something, I don't know. It could just be a little bit more of a versatile stash to have. Now this one I think is the one I'm looking for. And I think I'm right. This is a gorgeous, I think I have a ribbon in here somewhere, but I don't know. But this is a gorgeous Gotland fleece. And I can't speak to how well it's scoured. I would say I probably did a shit job of scouring this because it is like, it feels like almost felted together. The cut ends especially. I need to kind of brush these open and pick it apart. I think this is gonna be like a big project of picking. And it's one that I wanna take slowly, but I do want to fix. Like I feel like I'm just doing this wool no justice by storing it in this pillowcase away from the world and having done whatever I did to it. I don't think I did anything wrong or bad. I just didn't give this fleece because it does not have like hardly any lanolin in it. It doesn't smell that clean. Actually kind of wish I didn't put that all over my face. I already pulled my drum carder out from under my vanity. It fits perfectly there, but it gets no use. So I pulled it out, I put it on my buffet, which lives in my yarn room, and I'm going to bring this fleece upstairs, and I think that I'm going to have it sitting out so that in the mornings when I have like 10, 15, 20 extra minutes and nothing more important to do, I could pick, card, and just continue to build a bat on my carder of this fiber, because this would be such a lovely something, anything, shawl, sweater, vest, I don't know. It's a single fleece. I think it was a yearling fleece, or it could have been a lamb. I don't even recall. I would like to take better notes in the future, but I'm just gonna start with what I have in front of me, and that is something I really want to do. I've not spun a long wool in a long time, and I've never really spun a long wool that I really loved. That's not true. I mean, Jacob is not a long wool. I have spun like woolen prepared Jacob. But another fleece that is very exciting is similar. This is the one that I have a ribbon for. New York State Sheep and Wool, first place. This is a mohair fleece, and I picked this lock open because, I mean, why wouldn't I? But I don't know. I want to blend it with something. Don't know what. And so that's another project for the drum carder. But this one is a little bit more fine than the Gotland. And so I think I want to practice, which is sort of backwards. I think Gotland's probably more expensive fiber, but I want to practice on the Gotland and then blend the mohair with something on the carder. And that something might be what I think is in here. Yes. So this is a light gray. Ooh, I actually have the info here. I'm so glad I did that. I think I must have had 2 copies because I always put one away. This is a light gray Cordale. I bought 4.5 pounds and I paid $28 per pound. This is from Linda Reichert in Wooster, Ohio. I bought this at Maryland Sheep and Wool, and it's very lovely. It has some variegation in its color. So I think what I'll do is, once I have an extra pillowcase, so I need to spin something first, I'm going to dump this out, separate the colors, weigh the different colors, and blend them by the weight of each proportionately, and the mohair. So it'll be a math equation. I will probably separate everything out all together, and then I can go into autopilot and card it. I have 3 more bags in front of me. This one is everything I have ever wanted, but the staple's a little short. It's like you meet the perfect guy and then you find out. I'm kidding. That's a joke. Yeah. But do you see that? It's like barely long enough to hand spin. It's so bouncy though. Like, it's very misleading. That looks like it's 1 inch long. It's definitely like 2 inches in length when stretched. And I have combed this on my hand combs and I have spun it. And it was definitely, it required a little bit of adjustment, but it wasn't anything I couldn't adapt to. You just do a short forward draw and you're fine. But this is probably the shortest staple you might ever want to hand comb. It's really pushing it. But this is one of the first, and you know, you can see some hunks of wool are not as short as others. But this is one of the first fleeces that I actually scoured really well. And I just never, I think I spun a single sample skein and then I never came back to it because I found so much more variety. And you know how it is, you just want to collect them all. This is a fleece that I'm getting rid of. It's a shame, but I can't explain it. Well, I can. I just did a really bad job of scouring this. So if you can't tell, it's just very sticky. I can feel it immediately. I mean, I have now sticky hands. And if I take just like even a little bit of it and I do the ping test by my ear, eventually like the fiber, it just breaks. And I've never really had a fleece do that. So I don't want to comb this because the more I comb it, the more I'm just going to break it and it's just going to become, I mean, it's very sticky. I just don't want to even bother with this. So this is going to be a cat bed, like I mentioned, and I will be very happy to have this pillowcase back. So that will be available. And then this is the last fleece here. I think I already talked about this one, didn't I? This is the same one, that lovely long staple white fleece. It just needs to be rescoured. Has that lanolin sweet smell to it. I don't think that I have the same issue with the fiber integrity. Oh, I do. It breaks. I don't care. I will rescour this and do anything I can to process this. It's really, really worth trying. The other one, it's a mess. This one, the staple length is too long. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be fine. But as you can see, I have my work cut out for me in the spinning world. And I just need to pick a project. Now that you're all fleeced out on the wool talk, I do want to touch on the fragrance sampler I mentioned in my previous video. I said that I bought from Heretic their discovery set, which you get to pick out for yourself which fragrances you get, and Season of the Witch. There were maybe 2 fragrances that lasted more than an hour. And I hate to give such a poor review, but if I'm going to spend any money, I want longevity. When you can get more longevity from a body spray than these. If I could go back in time, I would have not bought these samplers, to be completely honest. I don't mean to throw shade at the brand. I think that they're a very cool brand, but I think I found the one fragrance of theirs that's really for me, that's really up my alley, that is exactly how I want to smell. And I don't know why I tried harder to find more. Dirty Hinoki is a fragrance that I absolutely adore. I just fell into a rabbit hole of wanting to discover the brand. And I gave them all a smell. I think I wore almost everything for a day or more. And I'm not floored. Even with the Dirty Hinoki, which I love, and I'll spray on my wrist and I'll just press them together. I'll spray like 1 or 2 on the, neck or sweater, and it just doesn't last. It's like for 2 hours max, and then it's a skin scent. Like, you can put your nose right up against your skin and you get a hint of fragrance. I'm not gonna go into all the notes because I'm not that girl. I'm not that good at this. But I'll tell you my overall impressions of each fragrance. I'm not sure how to pronounce the 2 dots over the A, but the Haksan fragrance, not for me. Too masculine, don't love it. Cuir Noir, also a bit masculine. I don't hate it as much, but it's not for me. It's not what I like. I like Dirty Hinoki, I talked about that. I like By the Fireplace by the Fireplace, it's popular. That's actually an Eau de Toilette. It lasts longer than any of these. Dragon's Blood, this has cedar. I want to like it. It does not like me. I don't smell good wearing this fragrance. It smells awful on my skin. Dirty Rose, I don't hate it on me, but I feel like a evil witch when I wear Dirty Rose. And I feel that the fragrance could be offensive to somebody, like an evil witch would be. It dries down and it softens to, I think, a very interesting and cozy fragrance, something that I don't hate at all. I would consider wearing. I would never buy a bottle of this, but I will wear the sample a few times to determine, do I even like this? I'm not sure. Midnight Toker, Brian doesn't like this. Midnight Toker is By the Fireplace, but a little less sweet. It's By the Fireplace, but someone is smoking a cigarette in the distance. It's By the Fireplace, but an ashtray is nearby. So if I wanted to wear this, I would rather be wearing By the Fireplace. It has longer longevity, and I don't give the impression that I am a smoker. Again, I'm talking about Midnight Toker, if you can't read the box. Angel's Trumpet, in this entire Season of the Witch sampler, this is the one I liked the most. It is a floral, like a white floral, and it has this odd roundness to it. Like, I'm gonna spray the box because I'm already wearing something else. It's light, it's floral, it's soft, it's warm. It doesn't smell like another fragrance I can pinpoint. It's very feminine. It's interesting. It'll be great in the spring. I would enjoy wearing this in the spring. I'm gonna take it back. This is not bad. It's not for me. This is a large man. Or someone who wants to be a large man. Not me. I wish I included Dirty Vanilla because the box I received, my package, had a sampler card sprayed with Dirty Vanilla. It seemed nice. I could barely get a whiff of it, but it seemed nice. I wish I could wear it and know if I like it because I love the vanilla fragrance. Don't know why I didn't include it. Maybe it just seemed basic, but I wanted to try so many different fragrances and I picked out 5 that just sprayed all over my hand, and I'm not, no. Voodoo Lily, no. It's floral. No. It's a vintage, it's like giving Avon. It's giving Avon. Dirty Suede, this is not bad, but it's barely there. It's barely there, and it's like, what are you wearing? You're wearing a leather handbag, maybe, but like, think about what a new leather handbag smells like. Not much. Maybe some leather. That's it. Not worth it. Not for me. Florgasm. Florgasm is clean. It is bright. It is floral as fuck. And I would wear it in the spring, but like for a day. I would never buy that at all. This Dirty Peach is straight peach. Like there's nothing more complex about it. It's maybe a sour peach, like it's just a peach. You're smelling a peach, which is great. I think it might be nice in like June, July. I'm gonna be excited to wear that in June or July. That will be a really nice fragrance to wear. I could see maybe even if I'm really eager for a spring summer fragrance, I could see buying the mini, but I'd have to really love the way it wears on me. And I'm not gonna spray this again. Bergamusk, it's just not bad, but it's not good either. It reminds me of something my grandmother would have worn, or maybe Avon. Maybe Avon, something Avon sells. I'm just not a fan of most of these. Again, Dirty Hinoki, love, love, love. I wish I didn't buy these. I'm glad I know. I guess that's the whole thing. That's what I paid for. I paid for the knowledge of knowing how do they smell? What do I like? I like the Dirty Peach. I like the Angel's Trumpet, but is it for me? I don't know. The Dirty Rose, it's the persona I wish I was, but I'm just not. I'm too nice. I can't be an evil witch as much as people probably think I am. Girl, you don't even know. I am very nice to you if you think I'm an evil witch. Did I spend more money on these samplers than I wish I did? Yes. Am I gonna get hardly any use out of most of them? No, I'm not. So I wanted to share with you a guilty pleasure, something that I'm not proud of, something that I find deeply embarrassing, and that is that I shop at Bath & Body Works. I love the hand soaps. I buy them on sale. I buy them 5 for $27 or whatever. I just can't. I have a hoard. I have a reasonable hoard of hand soaps. I have about a year's supply of hand soap. Not more than I can utilize, but I have enough that I don't have to buy any more for a short while, and that's how I like to do it. Once or twice a year, I buy a shit ton of soap, and I have it in my closet, and when it's empty, I have a new one. And I don't have to ever buy it at the grocery store. It's just I have a supply of hand soap, and I like it like that, okay? I've dabbled with the wall flowers, they call them, the diffusers. I like having those. Sometimes I'm down to one right now. I just use one. But what I've really loved in the last few weeks, months, is they did a huge sale on their body creams, and I bought a shit ton of body creams from Bath & Body Works. And I'm just gonna tell you about the ones I like and the ones I don't that I have, so that I can give my confession. And if you're interested, you'll go find one that works for you on sale. Do not pay full price for this. It's marketed to the public a certain way. So they tell you that the retail price is $18.95 for the body cream and $20.95 for the body butter. Do not ever pay full price, ever. Don't buy 3 to get 3 free. You don't need 6 body creams. If you spent $60 on 6 body creams, you're still paying too much. Like, you shouldn't even spend $10 on these. And they do expire in a year, so you probably don't need more than 1 or 2. I know that I will use this every day, and I try to, and I have been, and I've been making some dents. So I'm gonna start with my least favorite and a life hack for you. So my least favorite, I have 6 in front of me. I will be brief, okay? I'm not gonna go on for too long. But my least favorite is Book Loft. This is a knockoff of Diptyque's, is it Le Papier? I have that fragrance. I have the bottle, and I love it. I wear it pretty often. This is not that. The hand soap, very on point. The body cream, not so much. And you will find there are variances among products in the different fragrances of Bath & Body Works. I'm not trying to become a Bath & Body Works review channel here, but we're gonna leave it in this episode and we're gonna move on. We're gonna pretend that this never happened, okay? Book Loft, it's powdery. It's girlish and feminine, and that's not who I am. So what am I doing with this? I'm polishing my wood furniture. Yeah, you heard me. I'm not doing that with the body butter. I was told this doesn't work. The body cream only. You stick it on a paper towel or microfiber, whatever. You polish your stuff. It actually works. It works. I did it weeks ago, like 3 weeks ago. I polished my bedroom furniture with the Book Loft because I don't want to ever wear this again, honestly. It's just not for me. Made good use of it. I haven't had to dust my wood furniture in weeks. It hasn't accumulated like it normally does. Maybe the surface, there must be some dimethicone layer, maybe, I don't know. And maybe you don't recommend this. No, it's water, glycerin, blah, 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 blah. My fragrance is like the 3rd ingredient. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm not like a childbearing person, so I'm not worried about fragrance. But anyway, I am using this to polish my wood furniture, and I like it so far. These two are tied for second and third to last. Inner Angel is supposed to be a dupe for Kilian's Angel Share. It's not that either. It's just not the same. It's interesting. It smells like a candle. It's not the best body fragrance. I will wear it to bed, but I would feel embarrassed to wear it outside of my house. And so this is gonna be my backup to my wood furniture polish. So I have 2 for the furniture. I'm just glad I have an alternative use for these things. I'm not wasting them. The 4th favorite is something that I purchased smell unsmelled, and this is black tea. And it is, I'm gonna run out of places to smell. Oh, it smells like black tea, a little bergamot-y. It has a little bit of it just smells like a cup of Earl Grey tea, honestly. And I don't hate that. Feels weird to wear. honestly, but it's light, it's not offensive, it dissipates quickly. And that is not this. This is my favorite. This is the one that I wear and then put on a wool sweater, and then days go by and I put the same wool sweater back on and I still smell this body lotion embedded in my sweater. This is Covered in Roses. It's supposed to be a dupe for Delina, which is a Parfums de Marly fragrance. It retails for like $425. I'm never gonna pay for that. It's a rose. It's very sweet, it's very fresh, and I think it's lovely. And in fact, it reminds me of another fragrance that I have a sample of by Mancera, Rose Vanille. Very similar. But this is a little bit more green, a little more fresh. And I even bought a backup, embarrassingly. I have 2 of these because this is the one I wear a lot. This is the one I put on to feel like clean girl. And then I don't wear the other 2. And then these are different. These are body butters. And I wonder, the volume is probably less, but the price is more. Okay, 6.5 ounces, 8 ounces. So I will go through these quicker. Warm Vanilla Sugar is a fragrance that they have had at Bath & Body Works for decades. I can't even tell you how long. You can see it's like a very thick whipped cream. This is very nostalgic. And these body butters, this one in particular, not as fragrant, very gentle. It has fragrance, but it's not hitting you in the face. Covered in Roses hits me in the face every day and I love it. Warm Vanilla Sugar, very warm, sensual, kind of like an amber vanilla, and very nice. But the best fragrance of all time, I've been using this hand soap for months. I'm in love with Vanilla Romance. This is a little less whipped. You can see it has a little more of a cream color. It's a different kind of vanilla. I don't know how to describe it. It's like crisp, clean vanilla. It's not masculine, but it's not a gourmand sugar cookie. You're not gonna eat it. It's a sophisticated, maybe woodsy vanilla. I don't know, it's just interesting. I wore this for the first time to the office and someone was like, "What are you wearing? It smells so good." So this is definitely a crowd pleaser. Oh, the fragrance notes of this are fresh cardamom, vanilla absolute, and captivating woods. So it is a woodsy vanilla. And I would buy the body cream in this. I wanted to try this body butter and I didn't want to buy too many things. I already bought too many things, clearly. So those are the things I actually wear. The sampler, this is me over consuming right now, but the sampler, these are gonna get tucked away in a drawer and forgotten, but I got the experience of wearing each of them and knowing what they smell like, and now I have that encyclopedic knowledge of Heretic as a brand. For the most part, obviously not every fragrance has been smelled, but these are actually the things I like. These 2 are the best, these 2. That is it for this week's episode of the Thread to Mend podcast. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far into this week's video, let me know in a comment below with like the body lotion emoji. If you can find it. I don't know what you search for, like lotion. I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. If you want to find me on social media, my name is TAYLOREOWEN on Ravelry and Instagram. You can find me on TikTok as Taylor Knits, and I want to thank you again. Thank you. I appreciate your support here on my channel. Do please give this video a like if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I want to thank you again. Do enjoy this week's garden tour. I'm going to tack that at the end of this week's video. So I just want to thank you one last time. Thank you for being here. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and that you take care. Welcome to this week's garden tour. It is Saturday morning here in Baltimore City, Maryland. It's mid-November, and we're gonna get a freezing temperature next week. So this is gonna be the last pre-frost garden tour. Wednesday night this week was very windy. Almost half of the leaves fell from my peach tree. You know, I'm already thinking about pruning it again. I pruned it quite a bit this summer because I didn't want to make the same mistake last year, which is I think in the fall, I pruned it heavily because I wanted to generate some scaffolding branches. I don't know. There's probably plenty of ways I could have done better, but I just don't know. Oh, scab's coming outside. Anyway, my point is that all the leaves fell and I hadn't had the time to clean them up before last night's significant rain. So everything is wet right now. I hope by the end of tomorrow it'll dry out enough that I can just get the electric leaf blower out here and make quick work of this. But I wanted to give you a thorough garden tour because I've been pretty busy back here. I just haven't talked about it online. So we'll start with the planter boxes. You may not recall, but I used to have 2 high bush blueberry plants right in the shade underneath this cattle panel where I've had the most glorious cherry tomato plant. It's a sun gold. They're bright orange, like yellowish orange fruits, which I think are one of my favorites. This plant has done extraordinarily well in this spot. I have another one on the other side. That's why you see it fills the entire cattle panel. There were times it dried out, but it bounced back tremendously well. I will forever plant a tomato plant if I can right here because it was just nice never having to buy tomatoes all summer. I moved both blueberries and I'll show you my containers first. So I am just gonna go from my right to left. These are coleus that I propagated from plants that I put in a front yard planter. And these are begonias that I moved out of the shade here. These ones are doing great. I think that they're very happy here and I will forever plant begonias right by the kitchen door because they're so cheerful and the bees really like them and they're always putting out flowers. And I really want to feed the pollinators more and more and more. That is really important to me. So this I'm gonna have to clean out eventually. I think after the frost they'll be done, probably those also, but I'm just gonna leave them be. The marjoram has loved its life all summer. It's just been exploding. I still have some mint that I think is gonna bounce back, but I had 2 varieties, one here and there, and they both got fried. I probably didn't do them any favors trying to clean them up. Probably cut back more than I should, but still, the marjoram did exceptionally well. All of my planter boxes did dry out a few times, significantly, so that's my bad. But in moving my blueberry plants, which I put one in this container here, and this plant did not give me hardly any fruit this season. You can see there's actually a berry still on it because it just didn't do much. It might have pollinated the other 2 blueberry bushes, but it was just struggling to function where it was. So I'm hoping it does better here. I heavily conditioned the soil with peat. So I think that it'll hold moisture a lot better. I think it'll be more acidic and I think it'll do well. I planted these mums many weeks ago now, right when they came out into the market. I bought a couple from different locations. That's why they're very different shaped size. But let me tell you, if you're in the Baltimore area, Richardson's over in White Marsh, I think, that area, obsessed. They have, everything is the best there. I'm obsessed. There's no better place to buy raw kale, I'll tell you what. But this has been fun. Over here, I had some kale planted in the spring. I cut it back when it got destroyed by whiteflies, and it propagated from its stem these 3 plants, which I relocated to this bed where there was room for them. This box here had store-bought strawberries that were very pretty with pretty pink flowers, and they gave me the teeniest of fruits, very few and far between. I don't ever expect much in the first year of any, you know, fruiting perennial, but still, it was just so disappointing. I had so many flowers, so little fruit. That didn't make sense to me. I don't think that they got enough sun. I think that they're maybe just not the right variety for me. So I just scrapped them. And our local Ace hardware store is doing a 75% off sale on all plants, including mums, which there were almost none. But I bought some herbs, hoping that they might take root and survive the fall and winter seasons. Maybe I can have some more robust herb plants in these boxes. I think that I might have conditioned the soil a little bit with some of the peat, because we got a huge amount of peat, like a ridiculous amount of peat. But either way, I think that they're gonna do fine here. I think that they'll be much happier. I don't know what time it is, maybe like 9 or 10 a.m. right now, so the sun isn't quite overhead yet. But they're just gonna get, I think, enough to survive, maybe thrive. I'm not sure. But over here, these strawberries, of all of the strawberry beds, I had 1, 2, 3. These were the only container of that store-bought variety. I mean, these were store-bought too, but I bought them so many years ago. I had like 2, maybe 3 strawberry plants that I bought and planted in the shade of my raspberries for some reason. It seemed like the sunniest spot at the time. And they only survived for a long time, and they have exploded this year. But these ones got fried. They are in direct sun, and this box is a little bit, it's deeper, but it's smaller. So I think it just dried out too many times for them to really do well. So I picked up from the grocery store this 4th blueberry bush. This was half off, so we paid $16.50 for a brand new blueberry plant. We'll see how that does. I have a lot of peat in this container now, so it should hold moisture better than my compost. I think it is going to be the right conditions for her, and it's right by the hose, so as long as I can spray bug spray, I'll get out here again and water in the summer. It's so hard with the mosquitoes. But I have a rogue echinacea. I'm going to plant this out in the front yard garden. I have a beet that I actually planted last spring. It never did well because it was just too shaded, I think. But maybe we'll have some beet greens, some little microgreens. I don't know, that's kind of silly. But I also have in this corner here, which I'm going to plant into the ground, a butterfly bush. I'm not sure where, maybe somewhere in the front yard. Because I'm running out of space, but these are my planters. I still have my lilac tree in my container. I love my lilac tree here, right by close to the window, and I can see it from the bedroom, so I look out at it, and I walk by it a lot in the spring, and it smells wonderful. But right now, this tomato canopy it's like a fortress. I have to crawl under it right now from both sides because I haven't trained it very well. But I did not really prune much off these 2 plants. Only when it was like crunchy and falling off did I pick parts of it to throw into the compost. You know, branches like this that are just kind of like barely hanging on. I tried to keep it clean, but I kind of gave up on it for a while, so it's chaos. But my one hellebore plant here is loving its life. I have a zillion more hellebore seedlings that I potted up in the spring. They germinated over winter in the early spring, and I potted up as many as I possibly could. I think there were like 40 something. I've given a few away, but I need to plant them out like today or tomorrow. This blueberry really performed this summer. I had covered it with a fruit tree cover, which is very small. It was actually perfect size. I might have to scale up in future years with some tooling from the internet. I'm guessing I'll just sew it together in the right shape. But this blueberry has been amazing, obsessed, love it so much. So she's my number one. I don't know the variety. I want to guess it might be Misty something, because I think I found the tag for it and then I didn't document it. So there's that blueberry, and then the two I showed you, and I don't know how this one is gonna do, but I need to cut back a tiny bit of it. It's not doing poorly. I think it might have put on some new growth since I planted it over here. What you might not know is that we have a gutter on the back of our kitchen that drains down and runs through here, and it empties out like right here. So I was digging this hole for this bush, and I was digging it very big so I could amend the soil with lots of peat, because we have had clay soil, but I've conditioned it a lot over the last 10 years or so. It's probably 4 to 6 inches of really good fertile soil, but it gets a lot of shade, so it's great for growing some things, not all things. And this area gets very wet, and I actually found a tiny like sinkhole underneath it, which I filled in. And I need to relocate this rosemary. I might put that over in potentially a box over here. Scab, where are you going? Anyway, that's my fourth and final blueberry. I'm really loving this lungwort in this area, in the shade of this tree. I think what I'm going to do as it starts to fill in the area is I'm going to cut a like semicircle or like a circle shape right here and just keep it confined to like a circle under the tree. I think that'll kind of control the chaos a little bit, but right now I'm just letting it really take off. I have lots of saffron crocus right here. I only got one flower, so hoping there's more in the future. They probably need a little more sun, but I don't have a lot of space for that. Here, I don't know what I'm gonna do next year, but it's always an experiment. This area is tough. Lots of shade. I mean, we are in the shade of a peach tree now, so I think that I might plant a hosta here. The raspberries did amazing. I cut all but one cane all the way back to the ground, and I got so much fruit this year. I'm still getting fruit on, I think I saw a bunch of fruit on one back there I still haven't harvested. I have tried to leave these heuchera alone. The bumblebees really enjoyed these flowers. Like every single day I came out here and thought, I want to clean these up, but I would see a bee or 2 or 3 trying to find food. So I left them be, but I think I'm gonna cut back the flowers and clean up this area. I planted this Weigela here from a container. I bought this at a deep discount from like Lowe's the year prior, and it's never looked worse. So I don't know if it's gonna survive or not. I'm just gonna wait and see what happens. It's possible that Weigela looks this bad everywhere at this time of year. I have no point of reference, honestly. My bird bath is falling apart. I would love to get a new dish, but the only place I think I can find one locally is at the Amish market, and they're not open on Sundays, and I need to take time on a Saturday to get up there and find out what they charge for just that part, because I don't want to throw the whole thing away. I would like to just replace the area that is crumbling. I decided I'm not going to try to remove this blackberry anymore. I'm going to let the blackberry grow here. It's really hard to dig it out. I tried multiple times to propagate it, probably at the wrong time of year. Maybe now would be better. Maybe the spring would be better. Let me know if you have any strong opinions about that. because I would like to grow blackberries along a couple of these cattle panels, but I'm not sure. I think they get more sun over on this side of the yard. I have obviously my pawpaw trees. We're gonna limb these up about 3 feet from the ground this year so that they put more energy into branches that are gonna be out of my way. Sad to see these little flowers go, but there's so many more flowers that will put out fruit. So black raspberries, I every year I clean up my berry bushes to keep them in control, and I thinned them out quite a bit, but I think that they're going to come back in the spring. Serviceberry is looking great. I wish I could recall which variety it is, because I don't know if it's the short shrubby kind or if it's going to be a tall tree. It's hard to know because it could be either and I have no clue. This hydrangea is the first hydrangea I've ever kept alive for several months, so very hopeful about that. I dug up my Solomon seal and I split it into 4 or 5 or 6 plants. So there's one here, here, here. I have a here and over here. And I managed to plant one of my hellebores, but I think there might be a couple other ones around, but I just wasn't sure where I wanted any of them. So I got to figure that out. But this is the hosta I'm thinking about moving. I'm going to harvest all of the basil. I'm going to plant all of my hellebores, and I would like to clean up the leaves. So we'll see what I accomplish today. Quite a lot to do. Every time I do the leaves, I blow the leaves into the garden beds. I'm blowing around these large lemon balm plants that I've kept in the yard. I don't think I've cut the grass for months and months, and I love it. It smells so good, and it's been a lot of fun having lemon balm because Shippy gets into the cat food all the time and has an upset tummy. So she really likes eating that lemon balm. And I think that's it. Oh, the fig tree. We never ate a fig off this tree. There were a bunch of figs, but they're just, I don't know, I can never get them at the right ripeness. The birds love them. The squirrels, I think, love them, although I've never seen anything eating them. They just disappear. So that's that on that. And that's it for this week's garden tour. I will show you an update if I get to it today. I probably won't get into the garden until tomorrow, honestly. So we'll have to wait and see what comes of all the work to be done. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.